All right, welcome back to the first episode of Barkin with the Dawgs, sponsored by Domino's. Shout out Domino's here in Dillon. I am Michael Filing, the athletic director, kind of just filling in here for the day. And I have with me Jordan Olson and Peyton Vogl, members of our volleyball team. Ladies, how we doing?
Good. Doing great, yeah.
Fresh off a victory last night, right?
Yes.
How do we feel about that? Beat Rocky 3-1. Kind of the back in the home swing of things. How'd we feel?
Good. Yeah, I thought it was a good win for us. We were looking for a little bit of redemption this week, so thought we started off on a good foot last night.
Yeah, I feel like we came out with a lot of energy and just kind of had that dog mentality in us and got the job done. So
There was a few times where you could tell there was some anger. Obviously we had a disappointing road swing last week, but there was some anger in those kills. Am I saying it right? The kills,
yeah,
that's what you two do. You get up and you just smack it down there.
yes.
So there was some anger. There was some things that kind of you guys had to kind of gather yourselves a little bit. And how'd you bounce back? How do you bounce back from a disappointing road swing like that? What's kind of the mindset going into that week of practice?
We kind of just started with, we wanted high vibes, for a lack of specific words. We just wanted to have good energy this week and a competitive spirit going into this weekend.
Yeah, and more on like a technical side, I feel like we prepared ourselves pretty well this week and made sure we knew our opponents and just went into the game knowing who they were.
Now you said high vibes. This brings me to a point here where my twins are in 6th grade and there's all these different words. There's bussin', there's riz, there's this, that, the other. What is like? I've heard vibes before, but I've heard vibes being used like really beyond what it's at now. Like, it's kind of like the old saying, like, I want to have that game face. Well, like, what exactly is a game face? So like, what are high vibes on the 2024 Montana Western volleyball team?
I'd say it's like just good energy. Like everyone has high energy and everyone's just like relaxed and having fun, and then also just like having that competitive spirit and then to want to win and play aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone goes in there playing like a team, and like that's our biggest thing, and having good team chemistry. So I think that's when we know we have high vibes for sure.
Good. High vibes.
Yeah.
So if I go
Good
home and
vibes,
use that with my kids, they'll probably not know
They'll
what I'm talking
understand.
about.
They'll
They
get it.
might a little
Just,
bit.
like, get the vibes high.
I do
Yeah,
have to ask a question. At our home games, and maybe there are on the road as well, I noticed that the team has, and I noticed this because I have a sweet tooth, anyone will tell you, there are nerd clusters, there are gummy bears. And I consider myself to be a fit guy. Am I missing something? Should I be eating more candy to help me be better? Or can you explain that?
We've had nutrition talks like with Allie, one of the professors in the kinesiology department here. She gives us nutrition talks, and it's just like that little bit of like sugar and carbs that'll keep you fueled throughout games. Whereas like sometimes it's harder. You don't want to like eat a sandwich in the middle of a game, but sometimes if you just like snack on little candy throughout a game, it gives you that little bit of sugar for like a little bit of energy, a little bit of carbs to keep you going.
Yeah, I feel like we're very sweet treat driven on our team. After a big win, we're always like, where's the next sweet treat?
Yeah, where's our sweet treat?
Yeah, so I feel like I always appreciate like getting a big kill or whatever and coming off the court and getting to enjoy a nice gummy worm.
So gone are the days of the orange slice.
Yes.
That's where when I grew up, it was the orange slice. I feel like now I probably could have been on a different trajectory path of wanting to play in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
Had I had candy.
Sweet treats.
Right, like
yes.
maybe if you would have had some gummy worms on the side, you would be in the NBA right now. Not
That is
sitting
how
right
I'm
here.
going to get my kids to the NBA.
Yeah.
Noted. All right, we'll talk about it. Peyton, obviously, this is what, year 7?
Five.
Five.
Funny.
Jordan, 3.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about just your goals after college. Obviously, we lose you after this year, unfortunately. Don't want to do that. But Jordan, we get you for one more year, but obviously you're kind of starting to form your career paths a little bit. Talk about what you plan to do after.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to nursing school somewhere. Haven't decided where exactly, but I'm in kinesiology right now, which will that degree will allow me to get into nursing school somewhere. So that's my plan. I'm not exactly sure exactly where I'm going, but
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to use my kinesiology degree to go get a master's in sports administration. Just trying to aspire after you, I guess.
you're gonna
Biggest
take
role
your
model.
job after
This
you
is-
retire.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to come for it for sure.
Now the pressure's on even more.
Yeah.
All right.
Either that or I've thought about sports massage therapy as
Okay.
well. So I'm just kind of going to figure that out.
She gives great massages.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Recovery that's kind of what I've found as I've gotten older, unfortunately, is that the workout is one thing, but now it's also the recovery. So you guys, compared to other sports, and as we start looking into where the Frontier Conference is going, obviously we're going to be playing, more games, more condensed. Volleyball players can play sometimes up to 2 to 3 games a day, 4 games. Talk a little bit about your recovery and what you guys do to kind of keep your bodies right, because I got to imagine the jumping, the arm motions, those things are going to be, by the time we get to November when we're traveling up to Havre for the conference tournament, that's a lot of jumping and moving. So talk a little bit about the recovery and how you guys stay ready to go.
I know for me, I definitely have felt a big difference from my freshman year till now. I remember the older girls being like, I just can't move today. And I'm like, oh, stop it. Like, get over yourself. And then I'll walk into practice and I'm like, this warm up could not be short enough. It needs to be way longer. So for me, it's just a lot more rest and appreciating those days that I get to relax.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, we played 4 games in the matter of 48 hours, our first tournament in Idaho. So it is a lot of games, especially in preseason. You're doing 4 or 3 games a weekend in the span of 2 days. And so it's just a lot on your body. We're always in the training room. You see our team, everyone is always in the training room. And kind of like what Jordan was saying, yeah, year 5, I feel it for sure in every way. And so just a lot of training room, going through your rehab, not only recovery stuff, doing treatment, also doing rehab every single day, staying on top of that.
I feel when I wake up, I sit up in the bed for a few minutes, and my wife always asks me, what are you doing? And I'm just taking note of what hurts and what doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
again, wish I had more of that, the recovery. Finally, kind of just, we're going into, we're hitting conference play. Frontier Conference is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's beating up on everyone, and and you guys, we talked about the unfortunate week we had last week, but now we're bouncing back. Kind of just talk to those that may not know how difficult the Frontier Conference is, and how does that prepare you for really hitting your stride at the middle to the end of the season to what really helped propel us to Sioux City final site, and kind of what you guys are looking for and where you want to be, as we come up into this, finishing off the first round of conference play.
Yeah, like you were saying, the Frontier is no joke. We started with 2 of us in the top 20, and then 3 others receiving votes. So that only leaves 1 other team not in the top of the whole NAIA. So it's just really competitive this year. Already in the first 2 weeks, we've had multiple upsets from everybody. So it's just a lot of taking one game at a time, not overlooking anybody. There's not a single team in this conference you can overlook. So just really preparing yourself the best you can for every single game, knowing that a win is not going to come easy at all.
Yeah, some of our toughest matches are in conference. And so I feel like it's really good for us to see that. And will prepare us for the end of the season, moving on to the final side or just other games like that. So it's very exciting to play in conference.
Yeah.
So.
We've also tried to keep aside rankings and stuff, because as we know, it doesn't matter at all going into the final tournament. So we just want to take it one game at a time. Obviously the goal is conference champs, but we just want to take it one game at a time. The tournament is where everything happens, and we're just ready to peak at the end of the year to get us into nationals.
Yep. And if anything, what nationals showed me and should have showed you all last year was that we could play. We can play there. All right, we got to wrap it up because I have to go back and do some more work. But we'll do some quick fire questions here. All right. If you weren't playing volleyball, what sport?
Basketball.
I think football. Quincy asked this question on Questions with Quincy the other day. I said football. I just feel like, I don't know, I'm tall. I feel like I could catch the ball, like score a lot of
I
touchdowns.
feel like I get on that O-line pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Best warm-up jam that you listen to right now?
Oh, that's hard.
It's supposed to be quick.
That is hard.
Yeah. Probably a lot of Kodak Black. I feel
Kodak
like we
Black,
get,
okay.
get with.
Okay.
I agree with that. I'm a big Kodak fan. We listen to a lot of him.
Mexican OT. One of my favorites.
You'll have to give that a listen.
I'll have to give that a listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to have, there's a lot that I've learned from just doing this here today. So it's going to be good. Final question. We talked about the sweet treats and I guess being rewarded for sweet treats.
Mm-hmm.
Best sweet treat.
That peach cobbler in New Orleans was something to experience.
Yeah, we found a peach cobbler place in
Yeah.
New Orleans. It was called Peach Cobbler Factory, and that place was unreal.
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
so good. I think we would go back there every single day if we could.
Well, how about this? We make Sioux City the final site. We make a deep run there. I personally will find the best peach cobbler around, and we can eat that and celebrate going to Sioux City
That sounds like
and then doing some damage there in Sioux City.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're really going to have to wrap it up because I'm going to have to fundraise
Yes.
to go find all this peach cobbler.
Go
So,
fund me.
Go
Yeah.
fund me. Yes.
Yeah.
Jordan, Peyton, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you all.
Thank you,
And
Michael.
this is Barkin with the Dawgs.